Welcome, everybody, to Northampton Neighbors' fourth annual membership meeting. To give you an overview, we're going to start with Ken Dim, the president, who is going to give us a brief talk about what we've done this year, and Gerard Paquin, who will tell us our financial status, and Todd Baran, who is a business sustainer and will talk to us from the point of view of that and the development committee. Then we're going to go on to about 8 people who are going to talk about their experiences of engaging in place in Northampton Neighbors, and let them tell us what it's gained them and what it's cost them and what could be better. And that is basically what we were going to talk about in breakout rooms, because we were told last year that they were so wonderful we should spend more time on them. Well, we don't have that capacity tonight, so we're going to have 50 of you or more on the same screen having a discussion. So that should be interesting. And then at the end, Ken is going to come back on and announce the Volunteer of the Year award. So let's begin.
Hello, and welcome to the 4th annual meeting of Northampton Neighbors. My name is Ken Dim, President of the Board of Directors. What a year it's been. Who would have thought 1 year ago that we'd still be stuck in our houses, still singing those COVID blues again? Yet, despite all the difficulties, despite all the challenges, Northampton Neighbors continues to thrive and play an active role in our community. Through our website, listserv, and mailings, we've provided up-to-date, scientifically based information on COVID and the vaccine. Many thanks to Gary Drimmer, Diane Porcella, Kathy Service, as well as numerous other members who have distributed accurate information and kept us informed on the latest developments throughout the pandemic. And even though COVID and the pandemic can seem all-consuming, Northampton Neighbors has been extremely active. Under Marsha Holden's leadership, we are currently working collaboratively with UMass on an exciting intergenerational storytelling project focusing on building relationship between Northampton Neighbor members and students enrolled in an upper-level undergraduate course entitled The Epidemic of Loneliness on Connection, Belonging, and Public Health. Approximately 25 Northampton Neighbor members are involved in this project. Under Linda Desmond's and Kathy Service's leadership, we continue to partner with Cooley Dickinson on the Pioneer Valley Memory Care Initiative, a program designed to help and work with the caregiver of people with dementia and/or Alzheimer's. Consistent with these efforts, Naomi Gerstel has spearheaded the formation of community partnerships, an initiative designed to work collaboratively with local organizations in order to provide joint programming. Doug, Amy, Jonathan Dow, Bert Liebman, Mike Marr, Sarah Lennox, and others have been active participants as we form working relationships with organizations such as All Out Adventures, the YMCA, and Acadia Wildlife Sanctuary. At the same time, we maintain interest groups focusing on, for example, hiking, knitting, politics, and, of course, food. This year, we initiated a major effort to rebrand ourselves, to redesign our logo, our website, and our stationery. 2 community members, Janet Bennett and Jen Gottlieb, working closely with the Communications Committee, were instrumental in these efforts. On a volunteer basis, they put in an enormous amount of time and effort. Many, many thanks. And as they worked with us and got to know the organization, both Janet and Jen developed a strong commitment to Northampton Neighbors, so much so that when asked to join the board of directors, they agreed to do so. I am thrilled to welcome them. Finally, I want to mention one other factor that makes us unique. As you know, we are one of the few villages in the country that does not charge a fee. But that means we need to raise funds from our members and our community. Under the leadership of Catherine Baker, chair of the Development Committee, we are in the middle of our fall fundraising drive. Catherine, though, has strong help and support from 2 new members of the committee, Todd Baran and Al Griggs. What a team. So when you are contacted, please continue to give or begin to give as generously as you can. Okay, enough speechifying. Let's proceed with the program. But before we do, I want to introduce the board of directors. Marsha Holden, Vice President. Gerard Paquin, Treasurer. Rainey Millman, Clerk. Naomi Gerstel, Mark Carpel, Sarah Lennox, Mike Marr, Kathy Service, and as I mentioned before, the two new members, Jen Gottlieb and Janet Bennett. And of course, let me not leave out Diane Porcella, our director. Now, let's hear from Gerard, who will give the Treasurist Report, and then from the various committees. We will then proceed to breakout groups, during which we will focus on volunteering for Northampton neighbors. Thank you and enjoy the evening.
Hello, my name is Gerard Paquin. I am the Treasurer of Northampton Neighbors. I am going to give you a very quick report on our finances. If you look at the first chart, you'll see that our budget for July 2021 through 2022, June, projects $73,000 in income. This shows that the great majority of funds, at 70%, comes from us as members. Non-members are projected to contribute 8%, and local businesses about another 8%. We're hoping to get 14% of our income from grants. However, grants can be tricky. They're time limited, they're difficult to win. We can't always count on them, but we are hoping. The next chart shows our projected expenses, and you can see the blue slide, 65%, showing our biggest expenditure is for paying our director, Diane Porcella. With myriad activities, committees, projects, and general coordination of volunteers to attend to, she has her hands full. It all eventually goes through Diane. She's really the glue that holds it all together and an extremely necessary member of the team. As to other expenses, we're really quite a slim operation. We get free office space from the Visiting Nurses Association. Recently, we've been really lucky. We've had reduced or free services from various professionals who have helped us with such things as revamping our website, redoing our publications, and our rebranding project. And it's really wonderful. It's heartwarming to know that there are people in the community who support us in our mission, recognize what we're trying to do, and help us out. Let's look again at where the money comes from in a different chart. Again, it all comes from you, our members. The breakdown in dollars is here. Largely members and board members' donations support us. We're really proud of that support. It's really what allows us to be an unusual village, and that we have free membership at all. We want to keep that. What I'd really love to see is that more members would commit to becoming sustaining members. A sustaining member is one who pledges to give a set amount, either monthly or yearly. It doesn't have to be large. Consider that now that we have over 1,000 members, if we could get just half of those members to donate $12 a month, we'd have a yearly income of $90,000. That's more than our current budget. This would allow the board members in the development committee to redirect our energy we now spend on getting donations and chasing grants towards increasing programs and pursuing the goal that we have, which is to keep us engaging in place. So please do consider becoming a sustainer. It would be great. It would be very helpful. That's pretty much my message today. If you have any questions, you can email me. My email address is on the website under contacts. At this point, I'd like to introduce Todd Baran, who's going to speak next. He started as a business sustainer for Northampton Neighbors. He then progressed to becoming a volunteer and a valued member of our development committee. So please welcome Todd.
My name is Todd Baran, and I'm the founder of Applied Mortgage. We are a mortgage banking company in Northampton, Massachusetts. The reason I got involved with Northampton Neighbors is quite obvious, first of all, which is that I am now nearly 67, and although I'm still working, I have always been involved with helping community service-oriented organizations, nonprofits, human service organizations, and I felt that getting involved with Northampton Neighbors would be a way that I could continue that service and also help people that are also trying to age in place in our community. This has taken me to become involved with the development committee. And the reason I got involved with the development committee is primarily because I was asked by several people on the committee to join, people that I have known for years who have also been very active as business people and active in the community with with community service oriented organizations, and I respect them. And so I said, certainly I would join. I also felt it'd be a great opportunity to continue to demonstrate as a business owner our business and our personal commitment to working in the community to help continue to nourish and grow a community that really serves the best interests of the people who live in it. So that's why I became involved with Northampton Neighbors. That's why I'm working directly with the Development Committee. The other thing that's clear to me, and as I've been in business now 35 years, is that a successful business must always be a vital part of the community, a vital agent to work towards improving the lives of all who are in the community. So this leads to a mission of our business, which is to give back as much as we possibly can to the community, to social service organizations like Northampton Neighbors. So we give back our talent, our time, and our treasure. And I borrow that phrase from John Bidwell, who's the head of the United Way. And I think it's a very apropos comment about what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Now we're going to go on to the collages of people who have in some way figured out and engaging in place with Northampton Neighbors. This is also pre-recorded, so we'll start, I think, with Naomi.
Hi, I'm Naomi Gerstel, Northampton Neighbors board member and chair of the newly formed Community Partners Committee, which I'm going to talk to you about today. In September, Northampton Neighbors started this committee to form what we call partnerships with a number of wonderful local organizations. We see developing partnerships as a way to inform our members about a wide range of community events and activities, to offer a growing array of opportunities to volunteer, to broaden our social ties and connections, and spread the word about Northampton Neighbors. So far, we're in conversation about partnerships with Lisa Downing, the director of Forbes Library, Jonah Keene, the director of Math Audubon, Karen Foster, the director of All Out Adventures, and Julie Bianco, the CEO of YMCA, and Laurie Sanders, the co-director of Historic Northampton. With all of them, we're in the process of setting up and sharing websites, newsletters, and listservs. And we're developing plans to inform our members about and share specific events like classes, walks, book drop-offs, skiing, exercise programs, to name a few. Some of these directors have or will give talks in the Northampton Neighbors Speaker Series, which is another committee that, of course, we hope you all attend and love. And we are thinking about setting up relationships with some other community partnerships whom we will soon hear about. Northampton is so rich in possibilities that we are excited about the diversity of connections we can form to help us all engage in place. Finally, and if you are interested in helping us develop partnerships, get in touch. We'd love you to join our committee. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Linda Desmond. For 50 years, I have been working with volunteers and older people. During those 5 decades of service, I have never seen an organization or group with more potential in creating a vibrant volunteer service model than Northampton Neighbors. Today at our annual meeting, I am making an ask. If you are not already a volunteer, become one now, because someday you may need transport to a doctor or a friendly chat with your new Northampton neighbor friend, or a little extra help because memory loss is now a part of your life. Plus, it really feels good. There are also leadership roles on committees, interest groups, and neighborhood circles. If you have ideas of other services that you could help with, let us know. I am also going to put a little plug in to those who have experience working with volunteers. Our volunteer committee could always use your help. Because of the pandemic, many of our services were put on hold. The time to strengthen and reawaken our volunteer program is now. Call the Northampton office and become part of a new aging experience where we can age in place with dignity, caring, and purpose, with just a little help from our neighbors. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Maureen Flannery, Volunteer Interest Group Coordinator. Northampton Neighbors has lots of interesting members, and joining or starting an interest group is a great way to get to know them. Most of the 8 current interest groups met during the pandemic one way or another, and they continue with blends of safe in-person and virtual formats. The hiking and walking groups have been especially popular since they resumed in early summer. And the newest group, Contract Bridge, came together during the pandemic, started weekly meetings as soon as the senior center reopened, and has grown since. Most groups are open to new members, and one, Knitting, is seeking a new leader. Members have recently proposed several interesting new groups: chess, memoir writing, play reading, all fun for small vaccinated groups of neighbors as we head into another pandemic winter. Just check the interest group section under programs on our wonderful new website to join existing groups and to find out how to suggest new ones. Hope to see you soon.
Hi, I'm Janet Bennett.
And I'm Jen Gottlieb. We serve on the Northampton Neighbors Communications Committee and are new members on the board of directors. By now, you've probably seen Northampton Neighbors' new look and logo. Last winter, with much of our operations on hold due to COVID, Northampton Neighbors decided the time was right to turn attention to how we present ourselves to and communicate with the community. We met via Zoom with a group representing Northampton Neighbors members, volunteers, donors, and the board. We talked about the organization's beginnings, where it is today, and the values that drive how the organization delivers programs and services. The result is a new Northampton Neighbors brand, which includes a logo and tagline, engaging in place, emphasizing the goal of our organization, while also underscoring the aspect of Northampton Neighbors that is about connection and involvement with our community and each other.
The website was the first place we applied the new brand. It was the perfect opportunity to present a fresh look while providing more information that's easier to read and easier to navigate. So if you haven't already, please visit northamptonneighbors.org. And if you're a member, we encourage you to log into the Member Center for member tools and resources that are real benefits of membership. For example, there's a listserv, which is like an email-based community bulletin board where neighbors share events and news items to keep up to date with one another. You can also search for local service providers recommended by other Northampton Neighbors, like doctors or pet services. And there are plenty of how-tos to help you learn how to use these tools. Finally, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, please look for Northampton Neighbors and like, share, and comment on posts. This is a great way to help us raise awareness about Northampton Neighbors and to connect with both current and potential members, volunteers, and donors. Thank you.
Hi, Mike Maher, Events Committee. We try to do a number of events during the year to kind of try to tie the community together. The dilemma this year was, of course, balancing a concern for COVID with helping people to feel connected. So in that regard, we did a variety of things. One was we were thinking about a picnic this summer, which we normally do for the whole membership, but decided that this wasn't a good time, and we hope to do that again next year. In fact, I'm sure we probably will. In addition to that, we did a mix and mingle where people get together once a month and have a drink and some snacks and some conversation and get to know each other. We did one of those. Unfortunately, we had to pause it, and I'm hoping to restart that fairly soon as well. We did the talent show on Zoom, which was a good solution for a COVID environment. I think we had a lot of fun. A lot of people participated. I think it brought a lot of entertainment to the community, in kind of an isolated time. So there's things we can do, and there's things we want to do more of in the future. If you think you're interested at all with ideas and or participation, then by all means join us. There's plenty to do, and there's plenty of room, and there's a lot of impact that we can have. So thanks.
Hello, my name is Kathy Service, and I'm a board member at Northampton Neighbors and a part of a group of board members who have volunteered to oversee the Northampton Neighbors efforts regarding COVID-19. many people may not have either the ease to use or the access to electronic resources. So one way that we decided to remedy this was to distribute door tags. And we secured a Mass Service Alliance grant to be able to hire a coordinator to help oversee this effort. We hired Madeline Lintz, and by the end of June, we actually distributed 5,500 door tags to many groups of people. We also did telephone calls, making sure people were able to get vaccinated if they wanted to. And then as the landscape changed around COVID, we continued to provide information via the newsletter and our listserv, et cetera, regarding vaccines. And I can't help but thank Gary Drimmer, who's one of our members, who took this effort on way back in the beginning to provide information. And he actually early on helped people secure appointments. So thank you, Gary. So as the landscape changes, so have we changed. We are now offering in-person services, and we've developed protocols around that to be able to keep members and volunteers safe. And we continue to modify our approach according to whatever the science tells us. As you know, right now, there are boosters and third vaccines available, and that has been going well. So as information continues, we will go according to that too. So thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Mark Carpel. I'm on the board of Northampton Neighbors, and I want to tell you about a fundraising event that we're hoping to hold in 2022 that we hope will accomplish quite a few things that are important for Northampton Neighbors. Raise a lot of money, provide a fun way to connect with local businesses, challenge negative perceptions of older people, increase awareness of Northampton Neighbors, build community, create delight, and connect the generations. And we take our inspiration partly from the Hot Chocolate Run, which raised over $600,000 in 2019, and Monty's March, which raised over $300,000 that same year. We're looking for an event that combines contributions from business sponsors and from peer-to-peer fundraising, which is the kind of thing where if you do a walkathon or if you run a 5K and you ask your family and friends, to contribute to support the cause that you're doing this for, that's what we're talking about here. Our second inspiration comes from Pasadena's Doodah Parade, a kind of a goofy, whimsical alternative to the more formal Rose Bowl parade that started in 1978, where you would see things like the lawnmower drill team, the precision briefcase marching drill team. These are investment bankers dressed to the nines and making coordinated, synchronized movements with their briefcases. The barbecue and hibachi marching grill team. The movable feast, this table and all of the chairs moves down the road together as one float. The Claude Rains 20-man Invisible Man marching drill team, two guys who look like the Invisible Man with 40 feet of empty space behind them. Up on the right here, you see some gardeners. On the left, you just see some folks who decided to kind of wear purple shirts and wear Hawaiian leis. Doodah parades have spread to a number of other cities. Here you see Liza Wolfe, the Doodah Queen from Kalamazoo, Michigan. In my mind, no finer example of a senior superhero. She has, by the way, given us permission to use this photograph in our advertising for the parade. And so Northampton Neighbors presents the Doozy Doo Parade, hopefully September 17th, a Saturday in 2022, with the expandable brass band who will lead off the parade, bagpiper Rory McLean, hopefully Bill Dwight as Grand Marshal. We still have to nail that down. And Gertrude, the gargoyle that used to sit on Main Street on top of the Words and Pictures Museum. Gertrude will have a float of her own in the parade. Types of teams, really anything kid-friendly and nonpartisan. pirates, mermaids, aliens, Harry Potter characters. Already in the works, the Glad Hatters, a bunch of people who wear silly hats. The Lost Sons of Don Quixote, a bunch of guys who look like me. And Saluma-Palooza, led by local legend Roger Saloon. Other teams, again, it could be anything. Lawyers in bow ties, ukulele strummers, knitters, gardeners, salsa dancers. And part of what I love about the parade is, like Northampton Neighbors, there's a place for everyone. So the Doozy Do needs you. Form a team, talk to some friends about it. Join a team, call us and we'll put you on a team if you want one. And call Northampton Neighbors with any questions you have and for any other information. The Doozy Do Parade is a perfect fit for Northampton, and hopefully it'll be our 2022 fundraiser. See you there.
Hi, I'm Diane, the director, but I like connector better. I assist our board and committees on programs and initiatives. They work hard and they have a good time. So join us. There's lots more that we can do. I also help our call manager team make connections. Since our launch in 2017, more than 125 volunteers have offered over 2,500 services. Each of those started with a call. A service can be a ride to the dentist, setting up a Zoom account, or replacing a smoke detector. Our volunteers have put in IKEA shelves, which is no small feat, and done some weeding, unstuck a storm window or two. They've stopped leaks, they've hemmed pants, and they've walked more than a few dogs. So give us a call. We are ready to help find a volunteer or suggest a resource in the Valley. And this is another connection that thrives. Our place alongside businesses, education, service, and faith-based organizations. We are working together for our Northampton neighbors and all our neighbors too. So if you have an idea or a suggestion or a connection, please give me a call.
Thank you, Diane. Okay, that's an idea of what some of the people have done to connect with Northampton neighbors. One of the things that it didn't emphasize that I wanted to spend a little time talking about, because we've got a lot of time to fill, was the concept that giving to Northampton neighbors in terms of volunteering is a way of giving to yourself. It's really incredible the experiences that you have with people. I've taken people to therapy appointments on a once-a-week basis and really gotten to know them well and care about them. I've phoned people once a week during COVID and have wept when one of my people died, and I feel her loss all the time now. I thought it was appropriate to begin this general question and answer and discussion period by reading a letter. One of our volunteers that I talked to this afternoon reminded me about it, and Diane helped me find it on my email. And I'd just like you to hear it from her point of view. So I have found a wonderful resource I'd like to share with you. Once the pandemic was over and rides were again available for medical appointments, I tried the senior center taxi. Unfortunately for me, I was too short and not able to hoist myself into a van due to several disabilities. Then Northampton Neighbors was suggested to me. I have had my life turned around as a result. Transportation is very important to me as I no longer drive and have only medical appointments I want to go, and have not only medical appointments I want to go to, but transportation to other places. Being older with disabilities, it's not easy for anyone, but being alone and lonely makes that crushing sometimes. As a result of finding the Northampton Transportation Service, I now look forward to my trips out. At least once or twice a week, I have a ride from the nicest, most courteous, and engaging people I've come to call my heroes. If you or a friend need kind, considerate transportation, I highly recommend Northampton Neighbors as a resource. I'm certain you or that someone you care about will love these wonderful drivers and the freedom that comes with this service. I also have a friend from Northampton Neighbors who checks in on me once a week. Such a wonderful way to spend time with someone who has come to know you. These services are available to members and worth checking out. Go to the website for more information. So now I'm going to ask you all, or I'm going to ask Nina, I'm not sure about the tech part of this, to unmute yourselves and to put yourself on gallery view up at the top of the top right. And here we all are. Look at that. And you're all unmuted. Do I hear voices?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what we wanted to do in this section was to divide into smaller groups, which isn't possible technically for us tonight, and talk about what people's individual experiences have been in volunteering or whatever way they've chosen to connect and engage with Northampton Neighbors. I think it's important for us to hear those things and what they mean, because you end up understanding, I think, that they're all different ways to connect. There's not one right way or one wrong way. You know, I watched Greta in the talent show talk about cutting paper. It was the most fascinating thing in the world. It's just interesting. Jonathan, you wanted to say, oh, you were just adjusting. Okay. So I don't have names, so I'm not sure how I'm going to spot people. I think we're just going to have to speak up when we want to say something. So I'm going to start with the first thing, which was hopefully asking anybody who'd like to share some of their experiences. Now, I'm noticing as I do this that a lot of you are still not unmuted. You can be. This is, you have permission. You can unmute yourselves. This is a free-for-all.
Rainey?
So, yes.
This is David.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming, David. I saw you were here.
Yeah, I want to talk about my experience with volunteering.
Okay.
I've given rides to a few people, but mainly one person is actually the person that wrote that note. And you get so much more than you give by doing this. The person she's a lovely, lovely person. And like she said in her letter, she doesn't drive, but I go to pick her up. I usually bring her to the senior center for to pick up lunch. And then she wants to go like grocery shopping or to Walmart or whatever. So I help her to the car, and I understand, you know, she's limited in mobility and stuff like that. And I'm very respectful of her, and she appreciates that. But my first thing when she gets in the car is, where would you like to go today? Because it's not like a set thing. She's only going to go, you know, to this place or that place. And so we go to Big Y or to whatever, and we talk about our week. We talk about our lives. And it's been very interesting. And I guess it makes me realize that we all have stories about our lives, but sometimes there aren't people to listen. And I think she appreciates that. She does have family support. It's not like she's totally, you know, on her own, but she does live by herself. And she's fallen a few times and you know, different things, but just it's a very valuable thing to do. And someday I might need that.
Well, thank you, David. I should also say David is on the events committee. We roped him in, and he's going to be helpful in putting on that picnic that we're being promised. So that's great. Anybody else have other things? Yes. I'm saying that. Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily Weir. I'm a brand new volunteer with Northampton Neighbors. I've only been volunteering about 2 months, I guess, on the communications committee. My career was in writing and editing, and I'm doing similar things on the committee, which is nice because I really was done with working, but I also wanted to sort of, just use the skills that I had developed, but not in any kind of every single day way. And I am happy to say that my new colleagues on the committee have been incredibly welcoming and warm in that welcome to me. So it's been great to use my skills again. And it's also an easy way in for me because unlike a lot of you, I was never really a volunteer during my working days. And it was something that I felt I should do and wanted to do, but never did until I retired. And also I chose Northampton Neighbors partly because yes, I might need some services in the future too, but my 94-year-old father who lives in Pennsylvania really needs the kind of services that Northampton Neighbors provides, and there isn't any such thing where he lives. So I thought, well, here it is in my own town. I really need to support it. So.
Well, you're doing a great job. I hear wonderful things about you. We'll hear
Thank
more from you later. Thank you. Anybody else? Nina, I'm still in speaker mode. Okay, she switched me. Okay, there we go. Okay.
You have control over what mode you're in.
Okay, yeah, no, I got it. It's just that I can only see one screen at a time, so I can't see raised hands. You could just shout out if you'd like. Anybody else have any experiences?
Well, I can talk about a volunteer who helped me.
Oh, that's great.
Today, actually.
Wow.
Nina has helped me a number of times, but she was here today trying to straighten out my relationship with Comcast and also just answering. I made a little list of sticky little things that come up on my computer and she addressed them 1, 2, 3. Wow. So I much appreciate that. And she seems to enjoy it. Thank God. I don't enjoy it. I enjoy her, but those kinds of things frustrate me. So it's really a fabulous help.
And I should say that Julie also runs our gardening interest group and has been instrumental in helping people get into the garden tour and show off their gardens. How did your tour go this year?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I don't think I ever went to the bathroom. I was out there the whole day, it seemed like, and answering questions, and it was fun. Oh, it's a lot of fun, but I'll never do it again because it's also an incredible amount of work. My garden is usually a lot of work, but that time it was ×2. I just wanted to mention that the gardeners group has been the easiest group I've ever had anything to do with in terms of organizational stuff. I thought that we would need to, that I'd need to come prepared with topics and things like that. And it was a group waiting to happen, and everybody just comes to it with their questions. And they look to each other as resources, and we don't structure it at all. And it really works.
That's wonderful. Well, I think
15 people, there's a list of 55 people, but usually somewhere between 10 and 15 people participate.
Wow, that's amazing. I don't know whether Rachel Naismith has arrived. Have you, Rachel?
I am here.
Oh, good. You talk. Julie just reminded me, because talk about an interest group that's filled. Yours is.
Right. Well, I am a member of hiking interest group, which is a fantastic group of people, and it's one of the 2 hiking groups. And I started a book discussion group about 3 years ago or so, and yeah, we're full. What we would like, I have a waiting list, and I'm very happy to add people to this waiting list. It's really been a very successful group. It's been a lot of fun. And sometimes it's been very serious. I mean, we've read some books that have been very, very thought-provoking and sometimes a little painful. And then other times books that are just, you know, really amazing and light. And, in all different genres. What we're trying to do, because I do have a waiting list and we have 12 people. When you get more than 12, it's really tough to have a discussion with the group. We'd like to start a second one. So if people are interested, they can get in touch with me. I'll put my email in the chat and I'll put you on the waiting list. But when we have enough people, I really would love it if we could find a person who would be willing to lead a second group. And I would be happy to, you know, hold their hand, walk them through the whole process. But it's not much work, and it's very democratic. We make our decisions about what books to read, and I've read many different kinds of books that I would never ever pick up in a million years, and I'm glad I did.
Do you think at some point you could publish the list of books that you've read? The rest of us would enjoy knowing that list.
I could find some way to do that. Yeah.
Or maybe in an article in our newsletter, you know, talk about some of the books you've read, or just list them, because I think that's great when you have a vetted recommendation. That would be fun. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And I know Doug Amy is here. I saw him before, and I had asked him to sort of touch base in terms of the work he's been doing for Northampton Neighbors. Doug, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Well, I'm very new to all of this, and I'm working with the Community Partnership Group, and you know, I was a little reluctant. You know, I wasn't sure what was going to be involved. But it's turned out to be great. I mean, the people are great to work with. And yeah, I find it very rewarding. And I guess what I would say is that I think what I've learned most is maybe about how to get people to volunteer for stuff like this. And the way I got involved is Naomi asked me, you know, and I have a lot of respect for Naomi and the work. And I said, well, sure. Okay. If she thinks this is a good idea, I'll try it. And I suspect that's how a lot of other people got involved. And I imagine that that'd be something we could do more of, you know, just ask our friends, you know, like, this is a good group, you want to get involved. So I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. You know, that's so valuable. That's how I got involved. Lee Bailey asked me, and, you know, it's a powerful tool. We should remember to use it more often. You're right. So these are some of the experiences people have had, and they're all different. I think one of our major concerns is that we have over 1,000 members, and we have at one point 59 people who attend tonight. And I understand this isn't the most interesting thing in the world to attend, so I appreciate your being here. And it also is contained by the fact that we have a lot of people who don't have access to computers, and so they can't Zoom. But we have a great deal of concern about how to get more people really engaged with Northampton Neighbors. And maybe do it right. Maybe we just have to ask. That's a thought. Does anybody else have any other ideas about what would be helpful, or what they'd want to see different or change in Northampton Neighbors?
I have Julie here.
Good.
I'm wondering, we've already made these outreach phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like we're set up to do that. And can we, that goes to everyone, right?
Yes, we try to reach everyone. Yeah.
But have we ever used it to recruit engagement and to go over things with people about possibilities and their interests and so forth?
You know, not specifically, we haven't. And that's an interesting suggestion, because I know I interview a lot of the new people who join the organization. And one of the questions that keeps coming up is they don't really know what kind of services they can ask for. Obviously, they haven't even accessed the social part of it, which we've been talking about a lot tonight. But even in terms of the service part, they don't know what it is we do. And what I tell them is ask. if we can figure out how to do it, we'll do it. If we can't, maybe we'll be able to tell you the resources that could do it. But yeah, there is a lot that could be done. Yeah. Thank you.
And the structure is in place.
It is. Yeah.
So that's what strikes me about it.
You'd be amazed, though, how many people don't answer their phones. It's, you know, it's why it takes, you have to advertise that you're going to be phoning so that maybe a few more people will actually answer their phones. And sometimes you have to follow up with an email so that they know, oh, this is you. Okay, when you call, I'll pick up the phone. So it's complicated, but yeah, we're learning to use phones a lot during COVID. Yeah. Anyone else?
I was this is Catherine Baker.
Yeah.
I was thinking that the neighborhood circles before COVID, the neighborhood circles were a good way for people to really connect on a personal one-on-one or 10 on 10 way.
Could you explain them a little bit, Catherine?
I was thinking that maybe Sarah could do that because she kind of coordinates the whole thing, but that and how that can be used also to get people a little bit more aware of what the organization is. But Sarah's there. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about the neighborhood circles. I think they started in the fall of 2018, and as Catherine said, they were originally primarily a way for people to make social connections. So they met person to person, as we used to do back in the day, and you know, we'd have hors d'oeuvres, or we'd have potluck dinners or snacks or whatever in people's homes. And then after the pandemic came, we switched to Zoom. I think all the with a few exceptions, I think all the neighborhood circles have been meeting on Zoom. There were a few picnics outside in the past summer, but it's mainly been Zoom events. And we think it's a way for people to get to know those who live the closest to them. Northampton Neighbors, of course, is a way to get to know people all over the city, but we thought one important function that we can play is help us to figure out who those people are who live just down the street. And we may need help from them, and we certainly may need friendship from them. So we've been, I think all the wards except maybe 1B is represented right now, or will be soon. Now 3 is gearing up to start a new neighborhood circle after kind of a hiatus. So we feel like this is a really great way for people to get to know each other, to overcome people's isolation, and also to figure out what Northampton Neighbors can do for them and what we can do for each other. So that's my little spiel about neighborhood circles.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks. So we're, believe it or not, running out of time. Are there other things that Northampton Neighbors could be doing that we don't do well, that we need to improve? Yeah. Whoa, I've never had a phone call. Do I answer it?
May I speak up?
Sure.
As some of you know, we have formed a committee that is providing tech services. It's not just me anymore. There's a committee that's providing tech services. And one of the things that I would like to concentrate on is reaching out to people who don't have tech, people who don't have Wi-Fi, don't have laptops, because these are the folks that it's very hard to reach. And one of the things that I would like to do is to ask you and everyone you know, instead of recycling your old laptops, give them to me. I know how to wipe clean a PC. I know how to wipe clean a Mac. It doesn't matter if they're 3 or 4 years old and you've bought something really flashy to replace it. Please don't throw it in the trash or give it to Staples. If you don't have a good place to take it, give it to me. And then we need to work on how to find those neighbors who do not have laptops, and our team can get them started. So that is something I want you to think about.
Good. Okay. Okay. That's terrific. And I think many of us have, see, I keep getting this image of a phone. If I click on it, do I answer it?
Rainey?
Yeah.
I think if you just say, hey, caller, please speak up, they may say something. That's a symbol of someone who has dialed in.
I thought so. Yeah.
So you can just.
You want to speak up? I can't quite hear you. Oh,
I think that she doesn't realize that she is speaking not to the group and her little square is lighting up. So I'm going to mute that person.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we didn't quite end up with the agenda that we expected to, because life is filled with surprises and you got to roll with it. We don't have a lot of answers. We have a lot of questions, but there have been some good suggestions, and I appreciate that. And here is Ken, because he is now going to present the Volunteer of the Year Award.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Before I present the Volunteer of the Year Award, I also want to thank a couple of people. I want to thank Ellen O'Gotten for taking all the photographs of members of the Board of Directors. And
good photographs, really good.
They were terrific. And so thank you. And I want to certainly thank Nina for doing all the tech work in general throughout the year, but certainly for this meeting. I know Nina puts in a lot of time and has an enormous amount of patience for people like me who not have a lot of patience in not figuring out how to work all these gadgets. And last, a special thanks for Diane, who just puts in an enormous amount of time. And I think it was Gerard who said that she's, the glue who holds the organization together. She really is. And, she just does an enormous amount of enthusiasm, the amount of work she does, her energy, the creativity. It's great. So thank you, Diane. Okay, Volunteer of the Year Award. So not surprising. I think most people probably are going to figure this one out. Kathy Service sort of beat me to the punch by thanking Gary Drimmer. I mean, Gary has just done an incredible job in spreading the information out about COVID, about the vaccines, about the availability of tests. As Kathy mentioned, he even helped sign people up for the vaccines. So it's been amazing. And plus his little weekly sheet, or it seems like a daily sheet. I can't keep up with you, Gary. But and all the sources between the Times and the Atlantic and the New Yorker, and it goes on and on. All the links to all the information that we probably don't need to know, but probably do need to know. So so thank you for all that. But in addition, it's amazing to me that Gary not only has spread all this information and all this information about COVID, but he's also distributed information about things to do, so that on his listserv, we find out about theater presentations in London, about Broadway plays, about concerts, about how to keep ourselves occupied and busy during this excruciating time of basically staying at home all day long and all night long. So again, for all of that, Gary, I really thank you, and I'm sure I'm thanking you for all of Northampton Neighbors and the people that you have helped try to figure all this out. And lucky for you, Gary, we have new variants coming along, and so you're not out of a job, and you can just keep going and going and going. It's terrific. So I pass it. So thank you. I pass it on to you, Gary.
Whoa, that's a hard act to follow. I
Not
wish
so.
I could come up with as many witty comments as that. I really am amazingly honored by this. And I wanted to share just a little bit of how I got here, as a volunteer. I've always been a volunteer, it seems, whether it was as a kid walking dogs, right out of college, joining the Peace Corps and working in Honduras. I was on various boards, including president of a school board in Curacao. You might get the gist that I did travel a little bit over the years. I was a docent in the Ancient Americas wing at the Field Museum before arriving here in Northampton. Coming here, I was a co-leader for a circle of care of refugees from not Dominican Republic, the Republic of the Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo. But probably none of those efforts has been as rewarding as here, helping out during COVID. It's been such a difficult time, and especially for seniors when we got the vaccine starting at this year. I know there was panic. Will I be able to get my vaccine? And it was great to be able to assist people to find places to get vaccines, and now to be able to help people get boosters, to try and disseminate facts, not rumors and not anti-vax comments. All of that has been rewarding to me. And I've got to say the feedback, encouragement that I've received from Northampton neighbors really has kept me going. There's been times it's like, oh gosh, am I going to be able to get one out this week? But then I'd get a note. It's like, yes, I got to do it, because it's not just that I'm doing this for the fun of it, but it's actually something that a lot of people appreciate. And as a lot of you know, I've recently been involved somewhat as a volunteer, I might say, leading a move to get the senior center to require vaccinations, to make it a little bit safer for the seniors in Northampton. And as I've posted, we've got it. The announcement will be coming out sometime soon. And in January, the senior center is supposed to begin to have a form of checking that people are vaccinated if they're going to senior center events. So just stay posted. And I have asked for, and I will continue to ask for other volunteers to actually make this happen, because the senior center will need some of those volunteers. So once again, all of you, thank you so much. Tolerating my sometimes bad English, typos, the rush of trying to get things out, bearing with me, and hopefully we can all make it past the pandemic and into the endemic without too many more variants. Thanks again. Oh, wait, I know I forgot one thing. Most importantly, I have to thank my wife. She has been supporting me through all of this. A lot of the articles have been found by her. And without her and her support, there's no way that I would have been able to do all the volunteer work that I've done over the years. So thank you, Candace.
Ken?
Well, thank you, Gary, and thank you, Candace. And for people who don't know, Candace also has been instrumental in setting up a little borrowing library here in Village Hill. And it's always fun to see the books that she puts out that the rest of us kind of borrow or steal. So this is the close of the meeting. I want to thank Rainey for organizing it and for essentially facilitating the meeting. Did a great job. And I want to thank everyone here for your time, your effort. I want to also echo what people have said, what Gary just was saying about volunteering, but what all the people who spoke about the importance of volunteering, the importance of being a member of, for me, also being a member of Northampton Neighbors, and what I get out of it, and sounds like what lots and lots of people get out of it as we get older, and gives us a sense of purpose, a sense of being, as they said, engaged in place. And it's really pretty wonderful. So I want to thank everybody for their time, their effort, for joining us this evening. I look forward to a new year. I certainly look forward to the next meeting being in person. It would be wonderful to be able to meet people and to shake their hands and to give them a hug and all that kind of stuff. And so Nina, I'm sorry, the heck with this Zoom. You've done a great job, but it would be great if we don't need you anymore.
No, really.
So again, look forward to the new year as we continue to grow, and as Gerard urged people to think about being to give to Northampton Neighbors, think about being a sustainer for Northampton Neighbors. Have good evening, have a wonderful holiday season, and a terrific new year. So again, thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night.